Guys, I'm going to talk about another fault related to swing, and that is the overswing. So the overswing is more prominent to golfers who are just taking up the game and hit the ball generally too hard. So what tends to happen is when you start taking up the game of golf, we all are too focused on trying to keep the club on a straight line. So we take the club, we just focus on as a straight line going through my right foot to my left foot. What a lot of people do is when they take the club back, they're almost trying to keep their arms in a straight position. So what they'll do is they'll forget to hinge their wrists, or they are too focused on hinging their wrists. So what tends, when they take the left hand back, the left hand's pretty straight, or the left arm's pretty straight, and the right arm's pretty straight. But what they'll do is, because they are, especially a lot of the older guys that I teach, they get to the top of the backswing, and then they forgot, oh, that it's too late to hinge my wrists. So what they'll do is, they'll hinge at the top of the backswing, and then what happens is, as a result of overswinging, then I always think the golf swing is a big wheel. So let's say we've got a big wheel. So I generally focus on, so I take to the top of the wheel. So let's say each side of the wheel so is 50%. So when I take the club back, so this is half the wheel. So I take the club back, that should be about 50%. But what a lot of people tend to do is they try and do too much on the backswing. So what they'll do is, instead of taking the wheel back at 50%, they'll take the wheel back at 80%. So what tends to happen is, when you take the club back longer on the backswing, the club's going to travel a shorter distance on the way down. So they take a longer backswing, and what tends to happen is their wrists have hinged far too late in the swing. So what will happen is they've lost all that power that they've wanted to restore. So they'll take the club back, and from here they need to release, well, they've got two levers. So what they need to do is release one lever to get the other lever to interact with the body. So what they'll do is they take the club back, then their left wrist will hinge late. So from here, the right arm almost is stuck. So what tends to happen is, get to this position, right arm, left arm bends, they don't have any rotation. It's kind of just, they just, on the backswing, they just kind of pick the club up. So they're more focused about hinging their wrists on the backswing late on, as opposed to just letting almost the natural feeling of the club taken away. Then the left wrist remains straight, then it's slightly, you get a hinge action. So as I say that the hinges, the left wrist hinges as your club starts to reach vertical. So from this action, so let's say it's horizontal now. So when the club reaches vertical, the left wrist hinges, because all that force is from the club head is pushing the butt end of the club down. So we get to the top, so club's on a horizontal plane at the moment. So as the club, the left wrist kind of flat, right hand's kind of on the club. So because people, what they'll do is they'll try and keep the club on a horizontal plane for longer, and what happens is the weight of the club is not being almost introduced yet. So the weight of the club's not being used. So let's say the shafts are on a horizontal plane. So what will happen is they take the club back on a horizontal plane, and from here they'll try and keep that club on a horizontal plane for longer, because they're trying to focus on this left arm. So what will happen is, from this position, I always feel like the club moves up and down. Pretend it's a pendulum. So when the club moves down, or when the club head moves up, butt end's pushed down. The other way, when the club moves down, the butt end's pushed up. So what we need to do is focus on, when we get to past waist height, so the club will move vertically when it's past waist height. So the hands, so let's say the hands and the club shaft are in a good position at the moment. So when the club starts to move vertically, that's when the left wrist hinges. So from this action, it's kind of this action, so left arm kind of reaches maximal force, maximal stretch. So they come back up here, the left wrist hinges. What a lot of golfers do is they get top of the backswing, then they try and keep that left arm straight as possible, but what they forget is they need to turn their body and hinge their wrists. The hinging action is a natural reaction from what our body does, what our left arm does. So what they'll do is they try and keep the club on a horizontal line into the ground. So to get to this position, then they're trying to get back, and they lose that's where you get that reverse pivot from a little bit. So from here, they've not created any power, and from here they come down and release that lever back down into the ground. So what we need to try and focus on is what I was just trying to incorporate there. So when we get to the top, when we get to the club shaft, it's horizontal to the ground. When the club starts to move vertically, so gravity of the club, so if you grip the club quite lightly, you'll feel the heaviness in the head of this club. So we get to the top of the backswing, or we get maybe midway on the backswing, when the butt end of the club starts moving this way, the weight of the club will pop up the way. Obviously the weight of the club is dictated by the weight of the club dictates the left wrist, in my opinion. You could argue with that, but if you think that's incorrect or you've got a point on that, post a comment below. So the weight of the club pops up the way, butt end of the club pops down the way, left wrist hinges. So what a lot of golfers don't do, they don't let gravity do its thing, so they'll try and push the club back in a straight line. Club's not reached a vertical plane yet, and as we come back, they try and rescue it by doing that, and as we come back down, bent left arm, you're never going to create any power from there, and you get that action. So I'm going to hit this ball, I'm going to try and light the left wrist. It's important to just try and keep a soft left wrist. So take the club back from this position, horizontal path, come back up, butt end of the weight of the club pops up the way. That's always important. So think about this one. If you grip the club lightly, there's more likely your wrists are going to be activated by letting the club move up the way. Left wrist hinges from that horizontal to that vertical plane. So from here I'm going to hit a shot. So from there, I let the left arm just do its thing, grip the club lightly. So if I hold it lightly, I can be able to hinge my wrists up and down, side to side. So let the left wrist drift, then hinge. So once basically the left arm reaches its full stretch, the left wrist hinges, club goes up the way from the gravity, butt end of the club's pushed down the way. And let me know your thoughts on that. So if you've got any thoughts on that video, so it's important to just try and let the club do the work. So if you've got any thoughts on that, as a result of you not trusting the club, so if you grip it quite tightly, you're not going to feel the weight of that club, so it's important to grip it lightly, because the club will move correctly. Now if you grip it quite tightly, your body has to move faster in order to turn. So if you grip it tightly, that inhibits a poor body turn, because your body's moving quite quickly. So if you just relax everything, breathe in, inhale and exhale, get rid of any stress, any toxins in your body. Then grip the club lightly, left wrist hinges, club shaft goes from horizontal to vertical, butt end pops down the way, weight of the club goes up, left wrist hinges, and you're on the correct path to reducing your scores. So if you let me know your thoughts on that video, quick video on why you overswing, and let me know your thoughts on it. Right.